I'm Alex. I'm 25, and I just became the CEO of a $100 million company. But that same brand was once worth over $6 billion. So yeah, we've got a bunch of work to do. We want to launch our Sushi mobile app this year. My vision is becoming a lot more clear for what we need to do to be successful. These are some of the things that we're thinking about. Why not just go for the glory? That's it. Survive.
We're here in Vegas right now. Been in Vegas for about 4 or 5 days now, and we're here with our buddy Jake, Bruce Wayne. What he said. And we're moving to a new room here in the hotel. We're getting taken care of here. We're staying at the hotel. Yeah, so the game plan is we'll be here 4 or 5 days. I've got an important dinner that I'm doing on Thursday. After Thursday, probably we'll bounce. Like Friday, Saturday, we'll bounce. Yeah, but 2 options. We probably either end up in Florida or in LA. But Florida, we'll make our way back to Puerto Rico. We've got to meet up with a potential new hire, which would be pretty convenient if we can do that in Florida because he's over there. So we'll try to do that. And then, yeah, work-wise, there's a ton of updates. There's a lot in kind of the pipeline, a lot that we're working on. So pretty busy. Been having a good few days. Vegas is like really transformed. It's become a really interesting place to do business. A lot of people have moved from California to Nevada. What's up, buddy? Had a nice little meeting this morning here, making some good progress. We're having some conversations about some of what we want to do around a potential sushi fund. So basically an entity where we'll be running some different trading strategies and making different investments through sushi, which I think could be really interesting because having trading infrastructure in-house can really benefit sort of like using our own products that we're building and becoming a big ecosystem participant on our own products. You know, a lot of what we're thinking about is kind of the long-term strategy of how we build sort of like an ecosystem of like either services or skill sets that we have that kind of complement everything we're doing.
Why are you thinking Vegas is a good spot to come around?
Yeah, Vegas is interesting. I feel like it's changed a lot over the last few years, especially since COVID. There's a lot more business owners and entrepreneurs and investors that have moved to Vegas. There's just a ton of opportunity, really just like the ecosystem that's been built here in Vegas. It's just becoming a hub.
Where will you go now that you're done with me? Where will you go now that you're done with me? I don't blame.
We moved hotels.
No. We move hotels, energy.
We moved hotels, energy. All right, people, we changed hotels. Little update on Sushi. We launched Perps, which is successful. That's been great. It's been gaining some momentum from volume and trading standpoint, which has been really nice. In addition, we have some really interesting deals and network deployments going on. We launched with Stellar recently, did a big announcement about Stellar XLM, our Stellar network launch. And so now if you want to trade any asset on the Stellar network, you can do so on Sushi, directly from sushi.com. Exclusive kind of DEX network deployment there. Beyond that, we are essentially working on strategic angles to just increase revenue, durability, and vertical integration within the business. What do I mean by that? When I think about the DEX, when I think about us as a trading exchange business, I'm constantly thinking about how we can create a wider technical moat. One thing that we're working on is building a trading desk or fund in-house that can trade within, let's say, the walled garden of our own products so we can understand our products better. And so there's different reasons that I'm not going to share, but there's different reasons why having that desk and that fund in-house is going to be extremely valuable for us. And so we've been working recently on building that infrastructure. Beyond that, the retail side of things, which I think is what's going to be most interesting for our audience. We're focused on expanding the retail app and the retail offering. We want to launch our Sushi mobile app this year. Already started the design for the mobile app. And the really cool thing about this is I have so many people in the videos that ask me, they say, Alex, I want to trade on mobile, I want an app, I want to be able to deposit crypto with just like a credit card or a bank transfer or from my debit card. What we're going to be doing this year is we're going to launch the most seamless, easiest to use DeFi super app. And it's going to have fiat on-ramp. It's going to have credit card on-ramp. So you'll be able to use your credit card or your debit card. You'll be able to deposit money from your Robinhood account or your bank account to the Sushi mobile app, and you'll be able to trade any asset right from there. And it's going to be slick. It's going to be seamless. We're going to have some cool rewards that we're going to do. We're going to just hook up our users. So all the early users that come from the YouTube channel that download the app, we're going to have some awesome stuff for you guys. When I said a few videos ago that my vision is becoming a lot more clear for, what we need to do to be successful, these are some of the things that we're thinking about. That's where we're at.
Where are we going?
Headed to Florida. It's been like 3 days since we last filmed. I've been pretty swamped at the moment, so last few days, been dealing with just bad jet lag, sleep schedule. Just took the red eye again, so 5 o'clock and I'm wrecked. I don't know why. It's been a ton of context switching for me, so mobile app, we have a couple of new hires that we're exploring right now. Sushi's a super engineering heavy organization and product heavy organization. So historically, everyone on the team has basically been focused on engineering and product. What I've been trying to do a little bit is figure out who are the all-stars that we're gonna have on sort of the business and go-to-market and finance team, because it's really critical that we kind of have both of those pieces. Market has been horrendous. There's a lot of uncertainty right now around Michael Saylor and Bitcoin and a lot of Stretch, the credit instrument that he launched, and uncertainty around whether or not that's going to implode and kill the entire crypto market, basically. There's that going on. I'm 6 months in, 7 months in at Sushi, and I would say that every month has been like more difficult than the last, basically. And every month has been a worse market than the last. It's just what it is. The only thing that we can do, try to improve the business, try to improve the fundamentals, try to kind of outperform our competitors from a fundamental standpoint, outlast, survive, and we're doing a good job of that. That's it. Survive. It's my morning routine, guys. As I told you in the first video, and I tell you in some of the follow-up videos, my morning routine is that I check the markets. And recently, the morning routine's been I check how much I'm down. I'm in a very contrarian trade at the moment, where I have a massive Figma stock position, and I have a lot of different equity positions right now that are underwater. If you want to know a little bit about me, is I'm an all-in type of guy. When I was first coming up, I was very conservative. I was like, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to protect my downside, all this stuff, right? Which is good, because like I said, like I've always tell you guys, an advantage of being young is you have time, you can compound. And so if you can kind of make sure that you conserve as much money as possible, you get in the markets, you're going to guarantee that you'll be financially free and financially independent. Becoming financially independent and making $1 billion are two different things. If you want to make $1 billion, you need to take risk. And you need to be willing to go all in on things. You have to be all in on whatever you're doing with your time, with your capital, with your energy, with your connections, like with your willpower. You have to be all in. Me saying this might sound crazy, but what's the difference between having, 10 million and 50 million? It's nothing, basically, unless you have an ego. You know what I mean? Okay, you have your baseline lifestyle. It's like $5 million, $10 million. Okay, you're good forever. More money than anybody could ever need, like to live a super good lifestyle. You know what I mean? You don't need a yacht. You don't need all this stuff. You say, okay, this is my baseline. Everything above it, I'm all in. Max risk. If you want to make it and you want to do something super unlikely, you have to be all in. Elon Musk sold his stake of PayPal for, I think it was 120 or 130 million dollars. And he went, and he took 90 million and put it into SpaceX. He took 30 million and put it into Tesla, and then he took like another 5 or 10 million and put it into Solar City. And he was like, yeah, I had to borrow money for rent. That's an extreme example. He understood that, basically, right? Presumably, he probably had some amount of his baseline covered, and he was like, okay, I want to go do these amazing things. I'm going to go all in, right? And that's what it takes. And he almost failed, but he didn't. And so in the business game, think about it the same way I would think about tennis, right? Or I would think about sports. I would think about, okay, who are the best people? How do I emulate that? How do I get to the point where I'm competing with the best? I want to get to the point where the things that I've built are comparable to those types of guys, right? Eventually, it might take me 40 or 50 years to get to a point where it's like, holy shit, this guy did a bunch of really unlikely things and built a bunch of amazing things. But you know, for me, that's what's compelling is just like the competitive aspect and trying to do really difficult things. You know, max risk on. This is it, right? It's like worst case, I lose a bunch of money in these trades and I keep executing. Best case, I have a whole docu-series where I talk about the pain and the suffering that I go through over a multi-year journey where these trades just bash me in the face and just kick my teeth in and stab me. And then eventually I'm right. And then it's legendary. Why not just go for the glory? Oh. Dude, you look really handsome.
Yeah, what happened to you?
What happened? You look way better than normal. You're tan.
I'm tan.
Where'd you get the sun from?
It's summer.
It's not from the blue light at your desk.
Have you done a deep dive into these some of these app screens?
You want a sneak peek through the phone of Luke's Figma?
Through the phone, through the screen, through the camera.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't really like the swap success one. It looks like way too on the left.
Yeah, I mean, this is just really like early on screens, but like the overall vibe I think is...
I think the branding's a little too like, should be a little cleaner.
Oh, that's...
Now flight mode. This is crazy. It's a drop off, 528. And then doors closed, 527. That'd be hilarious if, like, for the music, instead of like the dun 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 dun, like of us trying to make the flight, it was just like just like the chillest music of all time. So now our ETA is 5:40 and the doors close at 5:27 and it's 5:32. They are still boarding, allegedly, but I had a feeling we were gonna make it. And our boy just went to the wrong terminal. Smoked us. You missed the first exit. This is the second exit. Third exit, it says go back to terminal, goes the other way, back to the highway. We're on the highway, it's like a U-turn. He goes to the U-turn, we go, oh, you go to the right, he goes to the left, misses that one, goes the wrong way. It was like whatever. We missed the flight, we gotta rebook. So the mission is to get booked on a new flight without paying. And so listen, I'm a hyper honest person, like honest to my own detriment, but there's certain times when you need to maybe exaggerate. And so in this case, when we're dealing with a major corporation that's subsidized by the US government, like an airline, you have to tell them, you have to say, listen, I just missed my flight.
You missed your flight?
Yeah.
Where were you going?
San Juan. You have to exaggerate, essentially. Say some bullshit and then make them, we had like an issue with the car and stuff and we were like, feel something and then it was, disaster. And hopefully they put you on the new flight for free.
Now you're leaving at 9. Make sure you don't miss
9.
this one.
I'm not gonna miss it. We're here.
Okay. Good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Appreciate it.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. I stretched the truth to ensure that we would get a free flight rebooking from the corporate overlords that are JetBlue. So thank you, JetBlue. But if you walk in like, oh yeah, I missed the flight, I don't give a give me a new flight. They're gonna make you pay. So you have to pretend you care a little bit. She secured us a complimentary rebooking on the 9 p.m. flight. Got a little surprise for the people. We're back in Puerto Rico right now, and I got a special guest. Oh, who's that? Look who that is.
Sushi again.
Dude, you look so wellness right now.
Yeah, I've been just doing wellness stuff.
Luke's here with us, so we're gonna be hacking. We're gonna be doing a little side quest in the next video. We had our biggest trading day yet on Sushi Perps specifically. We had one user who did over 22 million in volume, which was incredible. We were actually the number 4 Perps DEX Hyperliquid builder code deployment. So that means all of the partners of Hyperliquid that exist, we were the 4th, biggest. I think the only ones that were bigger than us were Phantom, MetaMask, and some other platform that I've never heard of before. It's pretty exciting to have our name up there in that list today. So that was a welcome find, basically. It's good to be back. It's good to basically give attention to all this boring stuff that we need to knock out. It's easy to forget the ingredients of success sometimes, and it's easy to get distracted by shiny object syndrome and different opportunities and different people doing different things in the market. This week, I think we had a couple of the biggest players in our industry raise massive funding rounds, multi-hundred millions of dollars raised by some players that could be considered competitors, some players that are just in our industry adjacent to what we're doing. And so it's interesting because the markets are the most pessimistic I've ever seen them. However, the most adoption is happening that I've ever seen at the same time. It's very classic bear market stuff, right? Where they say the best time to build is in a bear market, because what you end up seeing is you don't have all the frothiness, you don't have all the new entrants, you don't have all of the easy money and easy fundraising that's occurring. But what you do have is you do have value accrual and strategic positioning that occurs with the incumbents and with the players that are sharp enough to be able to survive. So anytime you have this cleansing cycle of these down markets, you have a window of opportunity to sort of consolidate your advantage and establish yourself and create strategic partnerships that can position you in front of the wave that ideally the macro or market environment can support in the event that if/when things get better. We're making incremental progress. We're having some small wins. We're seeing the right things happen. And despite of that, the market is still very punishing. That's just part of it. When I built one of my last businesses, I built it in the bottom of the last crypto bear market. Bitcoin had gone from $70,000 down to about 16,000. I lost over 90% of my net worth. I was dealing with a bunch of personal issues. Basically saw everything that I built kind of fall apart. In that window of time, I was able to get a few things going. I was very fortunate to work with some phenomenal partners and clients that I got very lucky, did the hard work, but also got very lucky and fortunate to find at the right time. Those partners and clients saved our business. They kept the lights on. I was able to use that foundation to grow. And what was interesting is because we were in this bear market where everyone basically got washed out, is that the only players left standing were the best companies. And so we were building a software development business. We were working with tons of just new companies, startups that were just, flooding into the industry because everything was so hot. But because we were able to survive, we were able to get a bunch of new business, way better caliber clients, way higher level players in the industry that were building better products, that were smarter, that were better capitalized, that were more stable. And it made our business, it was super scary because I thought we were gonna lose everything. And we kind of struggled through, we made it, we survived, and then it positioned us to do so much better because we had a much higher quality and caliber of partner that we were now able to work with because we were one of the few survivors of that washout event. If you're in kind of a moment where maybe your market is being neglected or even getting beat down and destroyed, and you're a little bit of a victim of circumstance, right? But you're building something good and you know that the direction that the market is moving long term is gonna favor the thing that you're building. If you can manage to survive and position yourself strategically with the right partners, there's a very good chance that you can be much more successful than you even realize now. Position yourself well, and then when your market, or when your industry, or when your thing comes back into favor, you're gonna be one of the few incumbents that gets to reap all that benefit. Everyone deals with it. People in the AI industry are not dealing with that right now, but if you think about AI is a great example. AI has been a topic of conversation since 2010, 2011. Google acquired DeepMind. There were these AI labs that have been in the works for decades. These people who were these AI researchers were not rich by any means. They were not the most coveted and sought after people. They built something they thought was super useful and valuable. An inflection point occurred, right, with ChatGPT and these LLMs becoming super valuable tools. Boom, right? Explodes. Anybody who's an AI researcher for the last decade is, infinitely wealthy now. Try to position in front of the wave. Try not to chase the trends, but try to position in front of the trend. That's going to give you the best probability of like catching that momentum. That's a little piece of advice tidbit. If you made it this far, Chopstick Gang, we're in PR mode, we're in hacker mode. Socials, Instagram, X, Telegram. If you're a trader, we're gonna do a trading group in the Sushi Telegram. So if you're a trader, or if you wanna learn about trading, we're gonna have some of the best traders in the Sushi Telegram, like in our community channel for free. We're gonna have them start posting some of their trades and stuff, and you'll be able to just learn from them and chat and whatever. And it's gonna be completely free. You're never gonna have to pay for it. It's just to kind of like build the trader community ecosystem within Sushi. So if you're a trader, and join the Telegram, and if you wanna learn, it'll be free. We're gonna have some cool and intelligent people in there sharing different ideas and talking about how they think about things and just, yeah, and just jamming. Join the Telegram if you want. Or just, you know, or don't. That's also fine. Thank you for watching. It's been real. See you in the next one.
I love my life. I like them girls, but I love my wife. I'll jump out of the car, bro. Day for my niggas do dirt, cause I love my guys. Like, fuck them.